Welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Grab Bag Email. Alright, so let's get started on our questions so it doesn't turn into a novel for everyone. The first question I have is, can you motorize any bike? That is kind of like a unanswerable question. No, you can't motorize every bike easily, I guess. Man, that's a toughie to answer. We've all clicked on YouTube videos and seen guys put chainsaw motors on bikes and Briggs & Stratton motors on bikes, and man, I've seen a guy with a car battery and an electric motor rig one up on a bike. I don't care to do any work that way myself, so I can't really say you couldn't do it, but I can say it wasn't right, and I can say that it probably didn't work very long and wasn't very reliable. I've just seen some crazy stuff out there, and just because you saw it on a video for 10 seconds does not mean it worked long term or correctly. So if you are a do-it-yourselfer kind of person at home, I do a little bit of homework. You're gonna have to apply a little common sense and a little mechanical knowledge. And if you've seen something that's tried and true, I would go that route myself. I've been doing them for about 7 years, and I even run into an occasional frame, because they change them every year, that the motor doesn't quite fit into correctly, and it just makes it a little more difficult to make it work. My personal run-in with one was like the metric frames, a 700C. Things worked, but they were just odd enough where you had to make this work and make that work, and it just wasn't economical. The more we have to work on it and make it happen and be reliable also, the more it costs you, the customer. So some bikes just aren't worth doing, I guess I should answer it that way. Alright, the second one. Are the regular bikes, much like this one behind me, are they durable? The answer to that is yes, they are, if you take care of them. If you go out speeding all the time and stopping hard and riding over rough terrain, naturally, just like any piece of mechanical equipment, it won't be long for this world. But if you ride anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour in your speed, try not to hit all the potholes and rough roads that you possibly can. Don't zip up to stop signs in places you have to stop and lock the wheels up every time. Riding rough like that, your bike will be reliable. If you've happened to catch any of our YouTube videos, for all the years I've been making the videos for people to enjoy and the places I've gone, in those videos I am in my 5th year of my same bike. Same tires, same bike, same everything that was built from day one. Because I ride the thing as it is supposed to be ridden. I don't hot rod it. I don't fly over railroad tracks, hit potholes, jump curbs. I maintenance it every once in a while by tightening up the nuts and bolts. Everything gets stressed through time, so you just got to keep an eye on that. It's not something you got to do every 15 minutes. It's just something a person should do at least once a month. Give it a go over if you are an avid everyday rider. And check your chain tensioner and chain, just to make sure things are smooth and normal as they were in the beginning. I have a bunch of videos on the YouTube page to help people repair, take a look at their stuff, friendly suggestion videos on things you should maintenance, etc. So if you happen to catch this video, our name is the same across the board on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. Ecotrans Gas Powered Bikes will get you to any of those 3 pages. Alright, my friend had problems with his all the time. Well, that really wasn't real specific of a question, but generally back in the day when I had guys coming in, bringing motorized bikes in when I was trying to work on them for the public, the problem generally was it wasn't assembled correctly. I've seen motors that are completely tilted and the carburetor's looking like that. They're bold carburetors on the 2-stroke 49 cc's and 60 engines, doesn't matter on that part. But the carburetor likes to set level, not up like this, not shoved in the frame where it's going downhill at 90 degrees. So that is what I'd like to consider not really correctly installed, which throws your angle off how your chain feeds into your sprocket area, and it's just a big mess. Unless things are lined out completely perfect, that's how you get reliability on your bike. The other friendly suggestion is, on the assembled correctly, is, are you taking care of your bike? How do you ride it? That reverts back to my first answer. If you ride the thing 10 to 15 miles an hour, which is about a pretty good speed for a normal bicycle ride, then you don't have wheel bearing problems, and your chain doesn't give you any problems when it gets slack in it. Do you maintenance your bike? That goes back to, do you tighten up the nuts and bolts? Do you take the slack out of the chain that I just mentioned? You can have a little bit of slack in your chain. They're comfortable that way. You don't want them tight binding like a banjo string. It's tough on the bushings in your motor, or bearings I should say, on the output shaft, and it's also tough on the back wheel bearings because they have tension being squeezed on them all the while they're trying to turn. Once again, I have a video of drive chains and a suggestion on how to keep it adjusted. But after you ride for a little bit, the chains do relax, so you will have to adjust it every once in a great moon. If you let it get a bunch of slack, that's when you get problems. They can walk off and you're always putting them on with a handful of nasty, dirty chain oil. Or they can bunch up going down a hill because they have so much slack. The back wheel is turning faster than the engine is going, and it feeds the chain up in the engine compartment where the chain goes, and sometimes jams them up. Doesn't happen all the time, but it's just could happen. And if you keep your chain adjusted, a lot less chances of that happening for you. Also, do you lube and adjust the chain? It's good to oil your chain every once in a while. You don't want them dry bone and rolling. Chains need a little oil occasionally, being they're out in the open doing all the work, and in the dust, debris, and road grime that usually flips up on them. It's usually a good idea if you're an avid rider of everyday work and home and store, and that's your main transportation. I would say at the minimal, at least lube your chain once a month. Also, check your rims and tires. If you're starting to get loose, wobbly spokes, replace the wheel, or have your local bike shop repair your spokes and re-true your wheel. Loose spokes can give you a flat tire by poking the inner tube, or let the wheel wobble, and that either touches the chain or the frame, or both, depends on how bad it's getting on you. And then you get a flat tire, and then the problems just snowball. So if you just basically keep up on your maintenance on your bike, ride it like you're supposed to, 10 to 15 miles an hour, not run over all the rough terrain you could possibly find, mix your fuel correctly, because that's the lifeblood and lubrication of your engine, then you shouldn't have any problems at all, and you should enjoy riding and not have problems every mile putting the chain on, and etc., etc. All right, well, I hope this episode of Grab Bag Email answered a few questions for folks. If you have any questions at all, feel free to send me a message. Drop me one on Messenger on Facebook, or send me a message on YouTube. Feel free to subscribe to our channel. A lot of helpful videos on just tidbit repair and adjustments that might happen to you in the future. Hopefully not, but if they do, things do happen, and this is a way you can fix them and get back to your life not having major problems. All right, well, stay tuned for our next episode of Grab Bag Email. I can't tell you what it's going to be yet because I haven't read the emails and messages yet. So we'll all be surprised when I put that list together. Okay, everybody ride safe, stay out of traffic, ride onto the shoulder or the side of the road like you're supposed to, not weaving in and out of cars. That's not safe. Cars don't like it. People get mad at you, and that's when the old road rage ensues. Who wants to deal with all that? So just ride within the realm of the law where you live, and a speed that is comfortable and safe for you to ride, and enjoy your bike for many miles. All right, everybody have a good day. I got to get back to work.